Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Josh.
And I'm Kristie. We've got some more great Reddit stories for you today, so let's jump into the first one.
Am I the asshole? I don't want my bridesmaid to wear her dress to other events.
That's a little weird, in my opinion. I think normally brides try to be considerate and get a bridesmaid dress that the bridesmaids can wear to other events because they're so expensive, you want to wear them more than once.
I'm getting married this summer, and I've been trying hard to be a chill bride. My family and myself are doing most of the planning. My cousin is letting us stay at her house just outside Nashville, so we're saving money before the bachelorette party, and another cousin has a van and we're all driving down together, so we just have to split the cost of gas. None of us are exactly swimming in cash, and I wanted to keep costs down as much as possible. I also told my bridesmaids, if there's anything about my wedding stressing you out, let me know. I'm the only one that should be stressing, and before this little scenario, I was feeling pretty good. Anyway, I found these perfect cocktail dresses at Anthropologie. Inclusive sizing, great color, and the holy grail, they were on sale.
Ooh, that's nice.
I made a deal with the bridesmaids. I buy the dresses if they covered any necessary alterations. Everyone was happy. I gave everyone their dresses. Everyone looks fabulous, and we're all happy. Who said planning a wedding was hard? Enter Roxy. Back in December, I saw a photo of Roxy at her work Christmas party wearing the bridesmaid's dress.
Wait, before the wedding occurs?
Yeah, before the wedding.
No, you can't do that. That dress needs to be a virgin for the wedding. Okay, you cannot wear it before the wedding. I don't care if you have it. You can't wear it before the wedding. You bought it for the wedding. No, you didn't even buy it. The bride brought it for you for this wedding.
Well, Roxy got alterations, so it's 50-50 probably.
But still, even if you paid for the dress, it is for the wedding. You cannot wear it before the wedding. What is wrong with this girl?
I'll admit it bugged me. I wanted the big reveal at the wedding to feel special, not like a rerun of an HR office mixer. But I bit my tongue because none of our mutual friends were there, so I'm not going to stress myself out about something I felt was kind of petty. The problem is we have a mutual friend getting married in June, 1 month before my wedding. A lot of my wedding guests will be at this wedding, and when I asked Roxy what she was wearing, she casually said, "Oh, I'm just wearing the bridesmaid dress from your wedding. I look hot in it, and it's my favorite."
No, you can't wear it to another person's wedding where everybody that's going to be at the wedding you're a bridesmaid at is going to see the dress before the big day.
It's gonna make OP's wedding look like she was too cheap to get the bridesmaids' dresses.
Yeah, they're just reusing dresses they had because, Roxy's been wearing this for months now, like 6 months. This is an old dress. Also, this dress is going to look worn out by the time it comes around to the wedding with how much Roxy's wearing it. What if she spills something on it?
I know that I would be so paranoid I'm going to spill something on this dress before the event that it is for. I paused. I told her I didn't want her to wear the bridesmaid uniform as a guest to a wedding filled with our mutual friends right before my big day. Well, now Roxy thinks I'm being a bridezilla. She pointed out that I did say I wanted them to have a dress that they could wear again. I meant after the wedding, obviously.
Again implies after.
She then dropped the bombshell that she's already worn it to several events. I might have snapped. I told her that since I bought the dress, I didn't want her to wear it again until after my wedding. She hit back that since she paid for the alterations, she's invested just as much money into the dress as I did, which, thanks to the sale, might actually be true. My other bridesmaids are on my side, but Roxy thinks I'm overreacting because it's just a dress. Am I the asshole for wanting the first time our friend group sees her in the dress to be when she's standing at the altar with me?
No, not the asshole. This is a huge wedding etiquette no-no, I feel. And how does Roxy not realize this? I don't think she's bridesmaid material if she cannot get this basic wedding etiquette down. The bridesmaid dress is for you to be a bridesmaid in the wedding. What you do with it afterwards is up to you. But you cannot risk ruining this dress before the wedding, and you cannot let people just see you wearing it everywhere before the wedding.
This is why groomsmen generally have to rent their suits and tuxes, because we cannot be trusted not to just wear this around. It's just practical.
And what if she does spill something on this dress and ruin it before the wedding? This dress was on sale when they got it, so it might be out of stock now. Maybe they don't have it in the right size or the color. Or, even if she can get a replacement, it's not going to be on sale anymore, and it's going to be a lot more expensive.
Yeah, it just feels like there's so much that can go wrong, right?
Also, I'm concerned about how often she's wearing it. Is she washing it or getting it dry cleaned or whatever? Is it going to I feel like it's going to fade and be a different color and look like dingy compared to the other bridesmaids.
That would be awful if hers was just like off color.
Or like, maybe misshapen a little bit from her wearing it so much. I don't know. I just feel like it is not going to look new and pristine like the other bridesmaids' dresses, and people are going to notice.
Yeah, Roxy's going to end up being like the raggedy bridesmaid. It just seems like such a violation of etiquette.
Yeah, I don't know how you accept being a bridesmaid and don't know, like, at least the basic rules of politeness when it comes to it. I really feel like OP should have just hung on to all the bridesmaid dresses and kept them at her house until, the wedding. But, like, my sisters didn't do that for me. They sent me home from the bridal shop with my dress, a few months before the wedding, because who expects the bridesmaids to wear their dress around before the wedding?
Yeah, there's no way OP could have seen this coming.
Like, in hindsight, she should have kept the dress, but who would have thought that this would be a problem?
Mini update. We're meeting for dinner tomorrow to talk. She actually reached out to me, so fingers crossed. But before we get that, let's read comments.
Oh, okay.
Top comment. I was all prepared to say you're the asshole from the title, but given it's before your wedding, I think you're not the asshole. It just feels weird to me that your friend is treating it as an ordinary dress when she hasn't even worn it to the occasion it was purchased for. Somebody replied, what if the friend had damaged the dress somehow? Or something had happened to it where she wouldn't be able to get it repaired properly. Plus, it is pretty weird to wear a bridesmaid dress to a different wedding beforehand. Maybe it's just me, but I felt really special and honored when I was asked to be a bridesmaid. I wouldn't have dared wear that dress to any event before the wedding. I even paid for it myself. Because, in a way, it would feel less special. Every time I see the dress, it reminds me of my sweet friend and the amazing time we had at her wedding. It holds a special place in my heart because of the memory associated with it. And it sounds like Roxy's first memory of this dress is a office Christmas party.
Well, as far as we know, she could have been wearing it before that, it sounds like.
She did say multiple occasions, so we don't know if that was the first one. Reddit's comments are pretty much all not the asshole, and they're all very concerned that Roxy is going to ruin this dress before the wedding.
But also, like, ruining the dress aside and everything, I feel like as a bride, you do want your bridesmaids' dresses to be like a big reveal at the wedding. You don't want everybody to know what they are ahead of time.
Yeah, it's just a little tacky.
It just seems a little bit thoughtless of Roxy to not even consider what the bride's opinion of this would be. And now that she's found out that the bride is not happy, she doesn't care and she's not happy with the bride. Calling her a bridezilla, like, I feel like this is a standard expectation from the bride. This is not bridezilla behavior.
And then on to the update. She's not wearing the dress to the June wedding, and she even apologized. Yay! That's the update. I'm going to go on to elaborate, but if you don't like ramblers, I would stop reading here. I like to ramble. Plus, I had a few delicious cocktails at dinner tonight. It was happy hour, and tipsy me loves to go off topic. And since there's no one here telling me to stop and focus, who knows what's going to come out. When I got to dinner, she was already there, which is unusual because I'm usually the early one. I hate being late. I also hate when other people are late, so I tend to get to things early because how can I judge other people for being late if I'm late? That's no fun. But I was watching Ladies of London, and the etiquette lady said that being early is also rude. Who knew? She also said that if you're going to a dinner party, you should actually be about 15 minutes late so the hosts have time for unexpected things that come up. If you get there too early, they feel like they have to... I'm sorry, I didn't realize this was going to be a whole etiquette lesson. If you get there too early, they feel like they have to entertain you instead of wrapping up whatever they need to finish. I thought that was interesting and wanted to share, but let me get back to the update. Fucking hell. The start of this paragraph was back to the update. I walked in, she stands up and gives me a hug and apologizes. So of course I immediately start to tear up, which makes her tear up, and we're just standing there hugging and crying in the middle of the restaurant. When we finally sit down, she tells me what's going on. Apparently she's been a little depressed for the past few months. She feels like she's the only single person in our friend group, and I hadn't thought about it, but she kind of is. She said even our friend who is asexual has a partner. Again, true. But it's not like Roxy doesn't date, and I'm not going to say she's picky. She just feels like she can tell that her and the guy aren't compatible. There's no reason to waste time. I'll tell you why it hasn't worked out with the last 3 guys she's gone out with. Guy number 1, great guy, owned his own business, and I thought he was very handsome. But he's not a pet guy, and if you do have a dog, he thinks it shouldn't live in the house. It should be outside with a nice doghouse, and the dog definitely shouldn't get on the furniture. Her dog is her baby, so he had to go. I agree, my fiancé knows to never make me choose between him and the dog. It would not be pretty.
I do not like that man.
No, I don't like that man either.
Dogs belong inside.
Who makes the dogs live outside in a doghouse these days?
Only abusive people, I think. I hope I don't upset anyone by saying that, but I think dogs belong inside.
I do have to wonder if maybe we have such firm opinions about doghouses because we live in Michigan, where the dog will die if they're outside in the winter.
Yeah, and I guess I do think that there are exceptions to that. Like, I know there are livestock guardian dogs who live outside with their herd of goats, and they seem happier doing that than being inside. So, I mean, but they're bred for that.
And they've got a nice barn usually.
Yeah.
Guy number 2 hated his ex-wife too much. She said he was always bringing her up, but never in a good way. He seemed to always bring her up in conversations, like they went to the movies, and he said his ex-wife said she loved movies. That's why her and her girlfriends went so much. But it turns out she wasn't really going to the movies, she was going out to cheat. Or they were going for a hike, and she had her hair in a ponytail. He told her how cute she looked, then said his ex wore ponytails all the time. Unless she was meeting up with the guy she was cheating on him with, she always wore her hair down for him. She swears any topic of conversation, he could bring it back around to his ex-wife cheating on him. She felt like he wasn't over his ex-wife, so she cut it off.
Yeah, that guy is not ready to be on the dating market yet, again.
Yeah, you know what? I was prepared to be like, wow, Roxy's too picky when we started to talk about the 3 exes, but no, these 2 have been just losers so far. And guy number 3 just enjoyed fart humor too much for her liking.
No!
I don't think I have to elaborate. My boo loves a good fart joke too, but I find it endearing. She thinks it's immature. There's a limit.
Yeah, every once in a while, it's funny. But if it's constant, it loses its humor real fast for me.
So anyway, I'm going to say that a lot. That's how I get back on subject. She had been in a funk, and I'm sure me talking about my upcoming wedding constantly didn't help. She didn't say that, but I do talk about it a lot. I mean, look at me. I'm on Reddit talking about it now.
Well, weddings are a big event in your life. People do talk about them a lot.
So getting back to Roxy, she was in a funk. She picked up the dress from the seamstress and tried it on to see how it fit, and she said she felt so pretty. She hadn't felt pretty in a long time. Isn't it funny how some outfits just make you feel good? I feel like that in my wedding dress, which I got at a consignment shop. Can you believe it? I took it to the seamstress and she worked magic on this dress. It was pretty before, but now it's beyond. Now you see what I did there talking about my wedding again? I'm trying to do better. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to pick the rambliest post for our first one. So anyway, when her holiday office party came along, she so didn't want to go and procrastinated until the last minute to find something to wear. She went shopping and couldn't find anything she liked. She even went to Anthropologie and couldn't find anything in the store she liked. And because she waited for so long, didn't have time to wait for an online order. This lady really likes Anthropologie. And she knew it was wrong, but she wore the dress and everyone loved it. She got so many compliments. Her work crush flirted and danced with her. Even the women there liked it. She hit it off with one of her work colleagues, and they've hung out a lot since the party. They didn't talk much before that night because they're in completely different departments. But now they've gone to dinner several times and movies. They even hung out at their apartment and watched Bridgerton with their dogs, who are also good friends now. She also feels like upper management noticed her too because since the office party, they've put her on bigger projects. So anyway,
again.
Life's been pretty good since she wore the dress. And this past weekend when we were hanging out, and I'm of course droning on and on about my wedding, and then bring up what to wear to another friend's wedding, that funk came back and she snapped a little bit. She said it really started off as a joke when she said she was going to wear the bridesmaid dress, but my reaction pissed her off. Looking back at my original post, I didn't elaborate on my reaction. I was hopping mad, y'all. And I didn't ask her not to wear it. I told her she wasn't wearing it because I paid for it. She said I made her feel like a child and I was her mother, and she had to do what I told her to do because I said so. Therefore, she acted like a child and threw a tantrum. She also hadn't worn it anywhere else. Again, she just said that to piss me off. After the party, she did take it to the dry cleaners, and it's been hanging in her closet since.
Okay, so kind of childish reactions all around when they had this little argument.
But at least she hasn't worn it to several other locations, actually.
Yes, okay, this is not as bad as I thought for the dress.
Even though I come off looking like an ass, I'm so happy. I even told her about the Reddit post. She thought it was hilarious. She said she knew I must have been mad because I gave her a misfit name and not a hologram name. It's from a cartoon we both lived on as a kid. She feels like Reddit was right since most people called her the asshole. I apologized and told her the everyone sucks here people were right. We were both assholes who deserve each other, but I still feel like it's a happy ending.
Well, I'm glad they seem to have worked things out and have saved their friendship, but I don't agree with everyone sucks here. I definitely still think that Roxy sucks more.
I think Roxy agreed with that, but OP was just trying to be nice and say everyone sucked. So
She's like, maybe I might have overreacted a little, which I don't think she did, but but okay.
You know what? As long as they're both happy and they're friends again, that's the best outcome we could hope for.
Am I the asshole for making my neighbor run after his off-leash dog?
I don't know why it would be your responsibility to catch the dog.
So to preface, I have a small to medium-sized dog named Ozzy, and we live in an apartment complex that's a pretty decent size with walking paths throughout the place. Great for dogs. And as is for everywhere, you still have to keep your dog on a leash in the common areas. But there's even dog parks and other areas where we can let them off. But this story didn't happen in one of those areas. In my complex, I have a neighbor who has, I believe, a Burmese mountain dog. Big-ass dog.
Yeah, that is a big dog.
And even though the dog is very friendly, there have been 2 incidents in the past in which the owner let his dog off-leash in the common areas and it full-on charged up to me and my dog. I had to pick Ozzy up because he was freaked out at the giant dog running up to us, and the owner had zero control over the dog. Once he got excited, he stopped listening and just kept trying to jump up on us until the owner finally grabbed him and put his leash on.
I do have to say, around us, it's always the people that have the big dogs that let them walk off leash. Maybe that's just because small dogs are untrustworthy.
Yeah, small dogs are sneaky and wily, and you can't trust them. Everybody knows that. After this happened the first time, I was irritated for sure, but I get accidents happen, so I was just keeping calm with the situation. Second time it happened was a couple months after, but I was honestly pretty pissed because Ozzy already gets anxious, so it was just very annoying for it to happen twice with the same owner and dog.
That's because that giant dog thinks Ozzy is his best friend. He loves Ozzy.
He does! He loves him and wants to play with him and eat him for lunch. I reminded the owner to keep his dog on a leash, but he really didn't seem to care and just grabbed his dog and walked off. So fast forward to today, I'm taking Ozzy on his night walk, and lo and behold, this big-ass dog ran up to us for the 3rd time. I saw him coming towards us, and I turned to go the other way, but it was too late. The dog caught up to us, and I had to snatch up Ozzy again. My poor guy.
I'm amazed the other guy doesn't feel bad about this. I feel so bad anytime another dog owner has to pick up their dog because of ours.
Yeah, because ours are always on a leash because we know they cannot be trusted. But yeah, they're a little bit much. And if they're pulling towards the other dog, sometimes the other owner gets nervous and picks up their tiny little Shih Tzu because Molly's like, I want to go say hi. I love that dog.
Yeah, and I usually try to keep them under control. But there was a period a few years ago where Molly literally broke through our fence twice to go and visit a dog. It was the same dog both times.
I know. I felt so bad. She knocked on the door and was like, your dog broke through your gate. And I was like, oh my gosh, I am so sorry. Profusely apologizing as she's holding her tiny little chihuahua up and trying to hold Molly so Molly doesn't run away, and we can get her back in our house where she belongs. I felt so bad. And I'm amazed that this guy doesn't feel bad.
Yeah, because Molly is only like 24 pounds. I don't even know how I would react if a giant dog that weighs as much as me ran up.
I saw the owner walking up to us, calling it his dog to no avail when I decided to teach him a lesson. I turned and ran the other way, knowing his dog would run with me, and I ran past a couple buildings, made a quick turn, and went another 50 feet or so before stopping and waiting for the owner.
Wow, okay, that was far more extreme of a reaction than I thought.
He's a bigger guy, so it took a sec, but he came around the corner real out of breath, calling his dog, and I kept telling him if he can't control his dog, it shouldn't be off leash, and he used some profanity, which I gladly returned, and then I kept running. I ran past a few more buildings, letting his dog chase after me, honestly until my shorts started falling, so I finally stopped and let the owner catch back up, and I just shooed the dog back to him. Bro was clearly mad, and honestly, if he wasn't out of breath, he probably would have had more to say to me, but he just got his dog and left.
Not gonna lie, that's honestly a hilarious reaction to this scenario. I don't think I ever would have thought to just go jogging and the dog's gonna follow, not my fault.
Now you gotta run after us and catch your dog.
Yeah.
And this guy's clearly not a runner.
No, it sounds like he is not much of a runner, so I don't know. It seems like a mean thing to do, but bro is not controlling his dog, so this might just be a teach him a lesson moment.
Personally, I don't think I'm the asshole here. My fiance suggested I post this here to see what others think. Honestly, I just hope he learns his lesson and doesn't let it happen again, because I'm going to keep my shorts tied from here on out.
OP's going to sprint next time, not just jog.
Hey, if he can't control his dog, he's going to have to chase after it.
They've even got, like, nice dog park areas where he can let the dog off leash. It's not like there isn't somewhere he could take the dog nearby.
But do you feel like maybe those are like, oh, that's so far away on the other side of the apartment complex. I don't want to walk all the way over there. I'm just gonna right here, right outside my apartment, let my dog off leash to go have some fun.
That's really a him problem, isn't it?
It really is.
I don't think OP is the asshole here. It sounds like justified asshole behavior to me. Right? The other guy just would not control his dog. It keeps freaking out your tiny dog. He wouldn't learn a lesson, so you taught him a lesson. I say that your actions were justified, so the other guy is the asshole. This I declare.
One of the top comments, NTA, you gave the guy a free practical lesson plus some exercise. Sounds like his dog had fun, too. Yeah, that dog had the best time playing with you and Ozzy.
Yeah.
We're going on a run. This is great. Yay!
Sounds like nobody ever takes this dog jogging.
NTA, I'm so sick of people having their dogs off leash when they have zero ability to recall them. Especially them always yelling, he's friendly, from afar away. It doesn't matter if they're friendly, other people's dogs might not be, and them running up to strange dogs leads to fights.
Yeah, you know what? This guy has no ability to call his dog back, does he?
No, none at all.
Not even just calling his name and, like, demanding the dog come back. This dog is not trained in the least bit.
Not one iota. Once this dog gets excited, he loses his listening ears. He's not listening to anything that guy is saying. Which really means he shouldn't be off leash.
No, like, if the dog was well trained, this issue probably never would have came up. So, he isn't training his dog, and he can't even be bothered to hold a leash, and when he takes the dog out, he's clearly the asshole.
But yeah, this dog is eventually going to end up in a dog fight because he's going to run up happily to greet another dog, and that other dog is not going to be friendly.
Or he's just going to follow somebody around a corner, and the owner's not going to see him for like a week.
NTA, he's clearly an unrepentant asshole. You should take a video and complain to the complex next time. Or complain now if you know his name or apartment number. Imagine when that huge dog jumps on a scared small child or goes after another dog who bites him and turns it into a very dangerous fight. OP replied, I was able to get a video of this last time. We'll definitely be showing the complex since it's happened multiple times.
Yeah, I mean, that seems like a good first step, not a first step, because your first step was to run off with the dog, but it sounds like a good next step, because bro needs to control his dog. It is going to end badly. With just a dog of that size, you know something's going to go wrong, and everyone's going to blame that giant dog that was off leash.
So Reddit is firmly NTA. Reddit's very against off-leash dogs if they are not well behaved. And they think it was a great idea and really hopes it teaches the guy a lesson about being a better dog owner.
Hey, if you're enjoying this episode so far, consider hitting that subscribe button.
We appreciate the support, and it lets us know we should keep making fun videos like this for you guys.
Am I the asshole for telling my coworker to stop asking me what I'm having for lunch?
Okay, I don't see the harm in them asking, but then I guess also if it's constant, it could get a little annoying. I don't know how I feel about this.
One of my pet peeves is when people ask me or comment about what I'm having for lunch. Even comments such as, oh, that looks good. What are you having? Did you make that yourself? They all bother me.
Does that seem weird to you?
Those are just basic small talk.
Yeah, I was like, that seems like basic small talk etiquette, like at an office. As you walk by, oh, that smells good. Oh, what you eating? Like, I don't see the harm in this. Why are they so angry about it?
Maybe it's because I don't like to feel judged on what I choose to eat, or maybe I just feel like my privacy is being invaded. Whatever the case, I just hate when people talk to me about my food choices.
Someone's a little touchy.
One of my coworkers loves to talk about recipes and what everyone is having for lunch. I usually eat in my car to avoid being annoyed. But recently, the landscapers cut down the tree branches that gave my parking spot shade, so I've been forced to eat in the break room this past week. Every day, this coworker has gone on for at least 10 minutes asking about what I'm eating. Yesterday, my coworker saw the lunch I had brought, and again, she started asking if I made it myself, if it is spicy, if I cook that very often, and on and on. So I just said, why are you so obsessed with what I'm having? I just want to eat in peace without explaining everything I made for lunch. I tried to say it in a joking but not joking tone.
Okay, I do kind of get where they're coming from. I have half an hour for lunch. I want to sit and read my book while I eat my lunch. I don't want to talk to people. Shut up and leave me alone.
Yeah, but also a joking but not joking tone is just angry.
Yeah, but like 10 minutes of discussing your lunch with this person does seem excessive.
Well, she got so offended and simply said, "Well, sorry, I don't need to know." And she left the break room. The rest of the afternoon she ignored me, and today she was really short with me. I don't want to apologize because I meant it, but am I the asshole?
I don't know if you were an asshole, but it does seem like you were kind of rude.
I mean, that kind of makes them the asshole then, doesn't it?
Yeah, I guess. Okay, yeah, they were a little bit an asshole.
It's just, if you didn't want to talk about your lunch, I feel like there are nicer ways to shut the conversation down instead of letting her ramble for 10 minutes and then snapping.
Yeah, I would have been like, "Oh, I'm having this. Now it's nice chatting with you, but I'm going to be reading my book now," or something, You work with this person. You want to maintain a good relationship, so don't be rude and snap at them.
Because OP really, really, really does not want to talk to people at lunch because they traditionally eat in their car where no one can see them.
They're very antisocial, and I can get behind that. I like that. I also like to eat lunch alone. But at the same time, I am not adverse to occasionally eating lunch with my coworkers and, having small talk and chatting. I just don't want that very often.
Top comment. I think the issue is that you skipped a step. You went from saying nothing to a harsh comment which was seemingly out of nowhere, when you should have just politely drawn a boundary that you won't discuss food. If you'd snapped after drawing a boundary which was then ignored, that'd be much more understandable, but you didn't do that. You're the asshole for the communication style. Like, OP at any point could have been like, "Yeah, honestly, I just don't really like talking about food." It sounds like OP maybe just doesn't like talking to me, but if it's just about the food, you could have changed the topic. You could have just said, "Hey, I just don't want to talk about my lunch. How are you doing?"
Yeah, there were many, many options for politer ways to deal with this.
Another comment. You being unwilling to engage in a common social interaction is a you problem. You're the asshole. Somebody replied, "I know. Normally this is the safest way to communicate with people you don't have much in common with." Does talking about the weather also make OP angry? Just wondering why silly, non-invasive small talk is so annoying to OP. Seems like coworker was just trying to pass time amicably.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if they're autistic and they also, like me, do not see the point of small talk and get really annoyed by it. I would rather just sit in silence. I don't care if it's awkward.
Maybe coworker is the type of person that they're sharing a table with OP because there's only so many spots to sit in the break room. Mm-hmm. So they feel obligated to talk to them.
No, don't do that. Leave me alone.
You're the asshole. Eating is probably the only good thing every human has in common. It sounds like you hate your job. Don't make it worse by being rude. OP replied with a comment that has negative 1,237 votes.
Wow, okay, people did not like it.
"I love my job and the people I work with. It's just a pet peeve of mine." Someone replied, "Don't make your pet peeve everyone else's problem. Change the subject if you don't want to talk about it or put headphones in. There are so many ways to avoid this without being rude." Yeah, read a book.
I mean, some people do see you opening up your book or putting in headphones as rude because they're like, "I'm trying to have a conversation with you." And they're not taking your subtle hints that you don't want to have a conversation. So you put in your headphones and then they're like, "Psh, that's very rude." But I feel like OP was super rude by just snapping at them.
Yeah, and the fact that OP never put in their story that they were trying to read a book or use headphones to ignore the conversation, mm-hmm. I kind of have to assume that they weren't doing that.
They're just sitting there participating grudgingly in that conversation until they couldn't take it anymore.
Somebody else commented, "I'm the guy always talking about food, and I just love cooking and eating and connecting with others through it. It's not your jam, but that's okay. By the way, just curious, what do you usually pack? Do you cook it yourself?"
No, you're going to make him so angry he doesn't want to talk about his food.
OP replied, "Nothing unusual, sandwiches or leftovers from dinner." So somebody replied to OP, "Whoosh." Completely missed that they were teasing him there.
My coworkers tease me about my lunch because I've had the exact same thing every day for like 10 years. Peanut butter sandwich and an apple.
As long as that makes you happy, I guess, because we could pack you a nicer lunch if you want.
No, don't take away my peanut butter sandwich. I love it.
But yeah, Reddit is very firm that OP is the asshole in this. They really went from 0 to 100. And it's not how you interact with your coworkers.
Am I wrong for refusing to share my notes with a classmate even after my professor ordered me to?
Sorry, do professors have any kind of authority to order you to share your notes?
I am so stressed out right now, and I really need to know if I'm in the wrong here. I'm a female college student. There's this guy in my seminar class who barely shows up. He has easily missed a month of lectures. When he actually does show up, he just sleeps, talking to his friends, or plays games on his phone in the back row. We have a massive midterm exam coming up next week that determines a huge chunk of our grade. Out of nowhere, this classmate messages me asking for all of my notes and study guides from the entire semester.
I have to assume that you aren't the only person he messaged.
He gave me this long sob story about dealing with personal health issues and a family emergency. The problem? We follow each other on Instagram. I literally watched his stories last week showing him partying and drinking at the beach, while the rest of us were sitting in a 3-hour lecture.
I mean, that's pretty damning evidence. I'm all for, the college experience of like cutting a class and going and having fun, but there are limits. You are technically there to learn.
I just left him on red. I work full-time while going to school. I take detailed notes, and I'm not going to hand over my hard work just because he wanted a vacation. Here is where it gets crazy. Yesterday, after class, my professor asked me to stay behind. He told me that my classmate reached out to him saying I was refusing to accommodate a peer in need.
Sorry, just before we get any kind of explanation, why the hell can't the professor share his notes with this guy?
Generally, the professors don't have detailed notes. Like, sometimes they'll share the, PowerPoint slideshow with you, but, usually that's it. Any extra notes from the lecture, they don't have actually written down to hand out to students.
Yeah, but, even the PowerPoint slides are usually good enough for the midterm. And he must have some, cliff notes for talking points. I don't see why this is OP's problem.
My professor actually told me that our class is a community. I need to be a team player, and he expects me to email my notes to the guy by tonight. I was so shocked. I just blurted out, no. I saw his social media. He was at the beach, at the party, with his friends and not sick. I'm not rewarding his laziness, and it's not my job to teach him.
Sorry, it's just wild that this professor said that this class is a community. It's really not. It's you lecturing to a bunch of students. Let's not try to make it into something extra.
My professor got really defensive and told me I lack basic empathy. He hinted that my uncooperative attitude might reflect poorly on my participation grade. I told a few other girls in the class about it, and while they agree the guy is lazy, they think I should just send the notes to keep the peace and protect my grade from a petty professor. I feel like I'm taking crazy pills. Was I morally wrong for just saying no?
No, you're not in the wrong here. It's the second that a professor tries to, I don't know, I guess coerce you into doing anything.
Yeah, it might reflect poorly on your participation grade if you don't.
Yeah, that's the second that you go to the dean or whoever you need to report this professor to.
Because you are not responsible for the other students. If they don't show up to class, that's on them. It's nice if you want to share your notes with them, but there's no obligation that you have to.
Yeah, the professor is responsible in some way to the students. If the professor thinks it's such a big damn deal, he should be able to cobble together some type of notes or a study guide for him for the midterm. He knows what's on the damn midterm. He could throw together 3 pages of study material for this guy if he really thinks it's such a big deal. Instead of making it another student's problem. That student is paying to be in your damn class. It's not their job to do a job in the class. It's yours. You're being paid, you loser. Somebody needs to give this professor a wedgie.
Top comment. Your professor is wildly out of line here. There's zero obligation for you to be this dude's personal note-taking service, especially when he's clearly lying about being sick.
I don't even care if he's not lying. It's not your job to hold his hand. It's the professor's.
Someone replied to that, You need to report the professor. He was so out of line he can't even see it anymore. If you decide to share your notes, I'd redact them. Heavily. Like, March 10th, discussed Voltaire and his impact on European politics. That's it.
Yeah, you know what? Maybe OP takes terrible notes. Just spontaneously. Maybe these notes are actually really bad. Just hand him a bunch of notes about how dreamy the guy in the front row is.
Reddit really likes the shitty notes idea. Speak to your academic advisor and the department chair ASAP. In the interim, email shitty notes. OP replied, the shitty notes idea is actually tempting. I'm just worried the professor will check them and get even more mad at me. But yeah, I think I really need to talk to my department chair because this whole thing feels so wrong.
Oh, you absolutely do, because it sounds like this professor might check the notes and decide that these aren't a good enough quality, and suddenly that affects your grade in any way? Is there something in the syllabus that says we're a community and we care about each other and love each other and, you know, if you aren't a good friend to your fellow classmates, you're going to be failed in the course?
Well, then the guy that's requesting the notes should be failed in the course because he hasn't been showing up to class and being part of the community. He's not contributing to this community.
It's just that friendship is magic and one of your friends is in need, so we need to come together and bake him a pie and hand him notes. Like, if the professor just finds it so important that this guy passes this class, then the professor could very easily help. The professor could just pass him.
Yeah, it's weird for the professor to be so concerned about this guy's grades and helping him out, but not doing anything himself to help the student out. And Reddit agrees with that. If the professor would like the student to have the notes for the time he wasn't there, the professor can send his notes to the student.
Yeah, it's just wild to push off your own responsibility onto a random person that is just sort of nearby.
Reddit also has some good ideas and advice. If you can, ask the professor to send the request in writing, then respond in writing, no, and why. Then use that correspondence with whomever you are reporting them to. Not wrong. OP replied, I was so stunned when he said it that I did not even think about getting it in writing. I'm actually really scared of him retaliating and failing me, but you are right. I need a paper trail. I'll try to send an email tonight clarifying what we talked about, so he has to reply.
Yeah, there are subtle ways to get somebody to, like, incriminate themselves in an email like that. Just send them an email and be like, hey, when you said I had to send my notes to this other person, did you expect me to send all my notes or just this segment of notes? Like, ask leading questions.
Yeah.
I think that's the way to go.
Some people on Reddit don't think you need to be that subtle in your email, though. Send an email to your professor that says, after thinking over our conversation today, am I correct that you are telling me I'll receive a lower grade if I don't share my notes with X, who spent the last month partying instead of going to class? That way he either backtracks and you don't have to send notes, or he doubles down and you've got proof for your advisor.
Yeah, you know what? You don't have to be subtle in this case, do you?
No, you can, like, make him backtrack. Like, make him put it in writing so he realizes, oh, this is bad. I can't make her do this.
Yeah, and no matter how he responds, still update your academic advisor about it.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Like, maybe just, like, blind CC them on all emails with this professor going forward.
It sounds like a good idea, honestly.
Okay, one more comment. Not wrong. This is insane. You are a student, not a free tutor. If he has time to go to the beach and post on Instagram, he has time to take his own notes. Don't let them bully you. So Reddit is firmly, she's not wrong, and she shouldn't have to share her notes with this lazy party boy.
Yeah, it's just academia exists in its own little bubble, doesn't it? All of these students are essentially your clients. They're here to learn from you. And if somehow the professor thinks he's entitled to not treat them like their customers.
They never do feel like, you know, they need to treat you like you're a paying customer, even though you are.
Yeah, it's just somehow academia has manipulated everyone to think that, no, I'm better than you. You have the privilege of listening to me lecture to you. And in hindsight, I think more than 50% of my college professors were complete dumbasses.
Oh, yeah.
Like
that they're teaching because they couldn't do.
Yes. Yeah. It's that old saying that's like, those who can't teach. There needs to be a second sentence that's like, those who teach maybe shouldn't.
Yeah, maybe not.
Maybe don't drag the students down with you because you can't.
But then I also had some amazing professors who were like super knowledgeable. My parasitology professor, really awesome.
Oh, yeah. I had some amazing professors, but I think that a lot of the ones that were super amazing, they went into teaching. They didn't like fail out of advertising and then come to teach a course. Mm-hmm. Although I did have a couple that were like very successful advertisers and then they decided to teach in their retirement. But then I also had one Photoshop professor who knew less about Photoshop than me as a sophomore in college.
Wow.
It was very frustrating. And then she wanted to use my homework in a book that she was writing about advertising.
No. I do not give you permission for that.
Yeah, I did not give her permission. I did not have any respect for this woman.
Well, that professor sounds almost as terrible as this professor in this story, so I'm sorry you got such a terrible professor.
They're just out there, and that sucks. But hopefully OP deals with this situation and it goes well for her, because she's not in the wrong here. Am I the asshole for not giving my bonus to my brother-in-law?
It's your bonus. Why does your brother-in-law feel entitled to it?
I, 28 female, have a brother-in-law, 30 male, who feels as though I'm being extremely unfair to him by not giving him my referral bonus. For context, him, my husband, 32 male, and myself are all registered nurses. We live on the West Coast, and him on the East Coast. We all have done travel nursing contracts on and off over the last 6 years. My last recruiter was awesome, so I referred my brother-in-law to her and her agency. When I started with this company, my husband referred me. The company pays you $750 after the nurse you referred has worked for 8 weeks. The person also receives a smaller bonus of $250. Many companies have incentives like this.
Yeah, a lot of places have referral bonuses. I think my work actually gives referral bonuses. I have no one to refer, so I never have.
Yeah, it's not just a nursing thing. It's a staffing shortage thing. Over the last few weeks, my brother-in-law has been making comments over text and over phone to my husband, saying things like, "Send me that money when you get it," or "Let's split that bonus money." He thinks it's my husband who is getting the bonus, but really it's me. I let my husband shut him down and deal with it, trying not to get involved. Things took a turn last Friday.
I'm sorry, but brother is getting $250 as his share of the referral bonus. That's what the company is giving him. Why does he feel like he gets her part of the referral bonus too? I'm so confused. Why does he think he is entitled to this?
Well, I guess because if she wasn't able to refer him, she wouldn't be getting the bonus either.
But if she didn't refer him, he wouldn't be getting the bonus either.
Or a job.
And it's like, this is what the company has decided to pay as the referral bonus. They've decided who gets what. Why? I'm so confused.
Last Friday marked 8 weeks he's been working on a contract for the company. He got his $250, so he knows the payment was made to us. He started harassing my husband over text, saying he deserves the money instead because he's the one working. My husband told him to knock it off, and that I'm the one that got the bonus anyways. He started texting me saying he's owed the money. Again, saying he's the one that's working the contract, not me. I told him no, and if I didn't refer him, he would have gotten no bonus, even if it's smaller.
Okay, one, why did your husband just throw you under the bus and be like, actually, my wife is the one who got the bonus, and now brother-in-law is harassing you? No, husband, you deal with your own family and tell your brother-in-law no.
I mean, maybe it slipped out in a moment of anger, but yeah, he's being awfully annoying about this bonus, isn't he?
Yeah, and no, I get a bonus because I found the job an awesome new employee, so I deserve that bonus, and the company has decided I deserve that bonus.
If you just referred him and didn't get a bonus, there'd be no motivation for you to recommend people into the company, right?
Yeah.
Other than helping your brother-in-law get a job, but I think the $750 on top of that is good motivation if your company needs staff. I told him no, and if I didn't refer him, he would have gotten no bonus even if it is smaller. Like, just be grateful for extra free money. But he kept on it, saying it's unfair. I told him this is just the way it goes. I made the company money for recruiting you, so I get paid more. It's not like I stole the money from him or anything. It was direct deposited to me. I stopped responding to his text messages, thinking that was the end of it. The next day, he started texting my husband, telling him he needs to ditch me. I'm extremely toxic and entitled. I suck.
Pot calling the kettle black. I'm sorry, who is toxic and entitled in this situation? It ain't the wife.
I'm extremely toxic and entitled. I suck. And many more not very nice things. My husband, of course, got very mad and stuck up for me. He hasn't talked to either of us since. Now I'm starting to feel bad that this has caused a family fight and don't think money should come between family. But at the same time, you can't bully me into giving you something that's mine and treat me like garbage. I never told my husband I should get his bonus, and I know my brother-in-law wouldn't give it to me if it was the other way around. Am I the asshole for not caving?
No, you are not the asshole. Do not cave. And you are not causing family to fight about money. Your brother-in-law is the one who's causing family to fight about money because that check had your name on it. It is your money. The company gave it to you. He has no right to it. And if he thinks he does, he's the one who's causing an issue and causing a fight.
Yeah, it's not your fault one of your family members is being so annoying about money, and you can't just roll over and let them do whatever they want and take money right out of your bank account.
And it sounds like brother-in-law wouldn't give you the bonus if the roles were reversed, she said. So I was like, there's really no reason to give it to him. He's just greedy.
Yeah, this is one of those things where it is OP's money. I have seen scenarios where somebody's getting referred and they're like, hey, I get this referral bonus. I'll split it with you. But that's something that the person receiving the referral bonus gets to decide.
Yeah, and at most you do like 50-50. So she should give him $250 of her $750 at most, right?
Right.
So they each end up with $500?
Yeah, and every time I've seen that scenario, it's always somebody who's like established, helping out like, you know, they
a new grad,
because the new grad could use that bonus money too. And the person is honestly just like, well, I just wanted to help you get a job.
Mm-hmm. I don't really need the money. And you're just starting out. You do need the money. So, you know, that's a nice thing to do, but not obligated to do so in any way.
Yeah, it's not at all required. And I don't think OP is at all the asshole for not caving. I actually might call her the asshole if she did cave to herself.
Yeah, and even if I was considering maybe throwing a little bit more of the bonus his way, as soon as he started like demanding it, absolutely not. No, that's my money now. I'm not sharing it all. I was going to do it before to be nice, but now that you expect it, I'm not gonna. Is that just me being petty, or do you think everybody feels that way?
No, I think everybody is that level of petty. I would hope. If you're not at least that level of petty, then you are too much of a pushover. Reddit definitely agrees, not the asshole. Top comment, your brother-in-law does not understand how referral bonuses work and is just being a total asshole.
Yeah, and that's what threw me so off at the beginning was I just don't understand his logic and I could not comprehend why he thought he deserved your part of the referral bonus. That's not how referral bonuses work.
Yeah, because the thing that he gets out of this scenario is a job and a paycheck.
And it's very nice that he gets $250 extra as his part of the referral bonus, like as a signing bonus. But yeah, mostly he gets a job. That's nice, right?
Yeah, I assume the job pays more than $750.
Nursing jobs usually pay pretty good.
Especially because he's at it for 8 weeks. I think any job pays more than $750 if you've been there for 8 weeks. Not the asshole. He got a bonus. Why should he also get yours? Do yourself a favor and never mix him in with any business arrangements again. Don't send him anything and never refer him again. OP replied, this is a lesson learned for sure. I won't be doing this for him again.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would cease any and all help to brother-in-law if he started acting like this.
Yeah, he's burning what sounds like a pretty crucial bridge over $750, isn't he? It's not even his $750.
Yeah, that's what's really throwing me is I just can't comprehend.
So now OP will not be referring him to any nursing jobs. How many tens of thousands of dollars is he going to miss out on in the future because he would not let this go?
Well, I mean, I'm assuming he can keep a nursing job, and if he wants, he can find another one, but it just might not be the best nursing job out there. But I'm pretty sure nurses are in short supply. You can always find a job somewhere.
Does this whiny man understand that he too can now refer people, not the asshole?
Yeah, he should do that. If he wants $750, he just needs someone else to come work at this company with him.
OP replied, I said this to him. Like, all of the hospitals you've worked and all the people you meet, I'm sure you could refer quite a few people, no? Travel nurses rarely use just one agency to find work. Also, do you think brother-in-law wants OP to just write them a check for $750 and not worry about the taxes?
Oh, yeah, definitely.
OP has to front the taxes on this.
Yes, of course.
So essentially, OP probably has to pay $250 to the government in order to write brother-in-law a $750 check.
Yeah, that sounds about right. And that does not seem fair. But I am sure that is what brother-in-law is expecting.
Somebody else commented, obviously not the asshole, but maybe it is time to call his spouse or parents to ask if he is okay, if he has any hidden debts, because he is alternatively begging and demanding money from his sister-in-law and brother. Maybe time as well to talk to HR about him hectoring you both for your pay that he feels entitled to. I don't think they would appreciate this either. I think going to HR seems a little overly petty to me.
Yeah.
To dragging the family drama to HR and making him lose his job.
But I definitely think you need to go tattle to his mom on him.
Yeah, this is definitely a scenario where tattling to mom is justified. OP replied to somebody that said something similar about brother-in-law being in money trouble. OP says, if he was in money troubles of some kind, I think it would be a different story, but he isn't. So, it's not even a he needs the money situation.
No, he just wants it. Give it to him.
So I think OP is very safe. They're not the asshole. Brother-in-law definitely is. This is your money, and you're entitled to keep it.
Am I the asshole? Female friend cancels her wife's birthday dinner, but suggests I give her the cake I ordered and paid for.
Ooh, this sounds like it might be a tough one, because you technically bought that cake for the friend whose birthday it is, so is it a birthday gift?
Female friend, we'll call her Justine, of 20 plus years, and her wife canceled a birthday dinner for the wife, let's call her Susan. At present, I special ordered a cake from a nice place. It's expensive. Friend's wife, Susan, does not know I was bringing her this cake. It was just a surprise gift from me. Friend, Justine, texts me to say they may be rescheduling dinner plans and suggests she goes and picks up the cake for them to enjoy at home instead. On one hand, okay, I'm very generous. Similar things are not normally an issue, but not me being able to give Susan the present is an issue, and I feel a little used. I told Justine I had to think about it, as I could replan the cake for when or if they rescheduled. If they don't, I can use the cake for another event I'm bringing a gift to, and I'd give Susan a different gift. Am I the asshole for not just being easy about it and telling her to go get the cake?
Wait, sorry, do we never find out why they canceled the event?
Nope, just we were planning a birthday dinner. You were going to bring a birthday cake to it. We're now canceling, but still give us the cake.
I feel like that's such critical information for my verdict. Like, did they cancel because one of them is sick? In which case, I might transfer the cake into being, a get well cake as well as a birthday cake. Or did they cancel the dinner because they just decided they don't like you anymore? In which case, you sure as hell don't give them the cake for that.
And are they rescheduling it? Are they going to expect you to bring a cake to the rescheduled party? I don't know. What's going on?
And it sounds like they're still far enough away from the event that OP can cancel the order or reschedule it. So why wouldn't OP just reschedule it?
Well, I don't think I think it's the day of, but she's like, I can take this cake to a different event I'm going to tomorrow and then buy another cake whenever you reschedule the birthday party for your wife.
I thought they said something about being able to move the delivery date.
I could replan the cake for when or if they rescheduled. If they don't, I can use the cake for another event I'm bringing a gift to.
Okay, well that's also confusing wording then, because replan, the way I heard it, they can reschedule when the cake is ready for pickup and they can just have it ready at the next dinner. But it sounds like OP also could just use this cake at another dinner. I don't know. It just feels to me like it's completely dependent on why they canceled the dinner.
Also, then you're just sending the birthday lady's wife to go pick up the cake. And does she even know it's coming from you at that point?
That's probably why OP said they feel used. Because, yeah, if she just goes and picks up the cake and then takes it home, you're never involved in this nice gift you got them.
Yeah, you don't get to see her oh, what a nice cake. Thank you. You get nothing. No acknowledgement for your contribution to her birthday.
And I know that common manners say you should selflessly give gifts and not expect anything in return, but I at least expect a goddamn thank you.
I want to see their reaction when they open it. That's part of the fun for me. And I don't know if that makes me a bad person, but I'm excited for them to open it and I can see how, if they like it and stuff,
Right. That's part of my enjoyment. That's why I went all out and got you this fancy cake. Because I wanted to see the look on your face, and now I don't get to see it. And I could have seen the look on other people's faces when I went to my other event. My better event.
And just randomly showed up with the cake that says, "Happy birthday, Susan." And they're like, "Who the heck is Susan?" And you're like, "It doesn't matter. Just be happy there's a cake. It's very fancy and expensive."
Yeah, just show up and be like, it's our birthday, and I stole this cake because I like you all so much.
Top comment, NTA. I would just say, "Oh, no worries. I'll work with the bakery and you can let me know when you reschedule the party." And if she says they might not reschedule, say, "No problem. I can get credit at the bakery." Leave it at that. You can send another present if you want, but it's odd that they want the stuff for a party without having the party. And like, what are they going to do with the big ass cake meant for a whole party? 2 people should not be eating that much cake on their own. Would I eat that much cake on my own? Absolutely. But you shouldn't.
Yeah, and birthday girl doesn't even know the cake is coming, so it's not like she's looking forward to it. It's not like she's thinking, oh, my favorite cake is going to be at this party, and I'm going to be so sad, and my birthday's going to be ruined because I don't get my favorite cake. She doesn't even know this cake's coming. It really does sound like her wife just wants to steal that look of joy in her eyes from you.
Next comment, NTA, no party, no cake. It's like, hey, the potluck is canceled, but can I have that lasagna you made anyways? Hell no, it's my lasagna now.
See, I don't really like that comparison because asking for a lasagna for a potluck is way more petty than asking for a birthday cake that is no longer going to be at a birthday party, because I feel like
it's still for the birthday person, right?
Yeah, I feel like if I'm sitting at my table staring at a lasagna that doesn't have a use, well, that's now my dinner for the next week. If I'm staring at a birthday cake that now has no use,
that is my dinner for the next week.
But also I'm staring at it being like, I don't need all these damn calories. Or I'm staring at it like, Kristie does not need all these damn calories.
Oh, but I want them. Now I want cake.
Since Kristie won't monitor her own calories and I'm in charge of the diets.
I really like sugar. Your friend canceled the party but still wants to get the present. It's not unreasonable that you don't want to. You should be giving it directly to Susan since it's from you. NTA, as the saying goes, Justine can't have her cake and eat it too. And someone replied, yeah, because her friend could end up saying it was from her and not from OP, so OP will not even get a piece of cake or even a thank you for the expensive cake. And friend gets all the praise.
Yeah, just without any further qualifying information as to why it was canceled, I have to say OP is not the asshole. Are there situations where OP could very, very quickly slide into major asshole territory? Yes. But without any knowledge of the circumstances, not the asshole.
This is my favorite comment. NTA, she wants the cake so she doesn't have to get one. Assert dominance and eat all the cake. Send a video of that.
Go full smash cake on it.
Yes, just eating chunks of cake. Just messy. Also messy. So much frosting and cake everywhere.
Yeah, eye contact with the camera at all times.
So, Reddit's overall response is NTA, party canceled, no party, no gifts, cancel their cake or repurpose the cake. The cake is yours. And then someone else in the comments says, NTA, I'd also be questioning if the party was really canceled or if you just got uninvited.
Yeah, that would be devastating if you found out that you paid for a cake for a party that you got uninvited from.
I would be so mad that I didn't even get to try a piece of that cake.
Yeah, the cake would taste all the sweeter to Justine if she knew that you had paid for it before she betrayed you. The cake is flavored with betrayal.
But overall, Reddit says NTA, no party, no gifts, cancel the cake or repurpose the cake. It is your cake.
This one is from Our Jobs. My manager wants me to take over my late coworker's $100,000 role, but says there's no budget to raise my $75,000 salary.
But your coworker is dead and no longer pulling their salary. Why can't you just have their salary? I don't understand how it's not in the budget. Also, if you're only paying me $75,000 for a $100,000 role, well, you better only expect to get 75% of it to get done.
I'm in a difficult position and could really use some perspective. Around May of last year, one of my coworkers sadly and suddenly passed away. Their role was posted with a salary band of $90,000 to $100,000. A few of my other coworkers applied for it, but none of them got the position. I currently earn $75K. My manager recently told me she believes I am a perfect fit for this role, and that the projects my late coworker handled should now fall under my patch. For context, I am already doing 4 other projects similar to what this person did, but this specific project is a higher grade and level than my current work.
I'm sorry, do they want OP to take this on in addition to their current workload?
Yes, I think so.
So they want her to do a $75,000 job that she was previously doing and a $100,000 salary job that will be added on to her with no extra money given to her, though?
Yeah, but it should be fine, right?
No. How many hours are they supposed to work? Who has time to get all this done in a workday?
My manager previously told me we could discuss a salary increase in the new year. However, this week she sat me down and said she does not have the budget to increase my salary to that higher band, and yet she still expects me to take on the work. I'm starting to feel deeply resentful and taken advantage of. It feels like the company is trying to save $90,000 to $100,000 by pushing the responsibilities onto me for free. My questions for you all. Should I tell her to take the project back since it's not in my job description or pay grade? How do I professionally set a boundary here without risking my current job? Has anyone successfully negotiated out of title and responsibility creep when the budget was supposedly frozen? I don't want to be difficult, but I also don't want to do a $100,000 job for $75,000. What would you do?
Oh, absolutely do not accept this. Now, I don't know how to professionally turn down this so generous offer that they are giving you, but you cannot be taking on all this extra work with no additional compensation. That's not fair.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that with that much extra responsibility they're trying to put in front of you, just be like, I'm sorry, my plate is very full.
I am not able to give this the attention it deserves right now.
Exactly. You could even try to wiggle it in as give me that 100K job and hire me a peon that can then take over my job.
Yeah, but that should be what is done. But the company is trying to save money and they're not going to go for that. I'm super suspicious. I don't even know if it's the company that's trying to save money because they posted this job for $90,000 to $100,000 salary. But then they're like, no, we don't like anybody who applied for it. But you would be perfect for it. I feel like this is the boss trying to pull a fast one and they're going to roll that $100,000 salary into their own salary.
I feel like this is just one of those industries where if you want a raise of any kind, you have to completely change companies because they do not have any promotion from within mechanics.
And that really sucks.
Yeah, it's never great.
That is not a good way to run a company. If you got good people, try and keep them. It's better, I think, in the long run to keep reliable people than to keep trying to hire new ones.
Yeah, I mean, this is how advertising is. If you want any kind of raise, you have to go and change to a completely other company. And then if you like that previous company, in 2 years, you can come back at a higher position and salary level. It's not a very stick with one job until you retire industry.
That would make me so stressed out. I've had the same job for 15 years and I don't want to leave it ever. Job searching is the worst thing in the world, and I'm very happy at my job, and they have increased my salary, I think, according to what it should be increased,
Top comment. If your coworker died, it sounds like the 100K was freed up in the budget. Somebody replied, exactly, I understand when management wants to save money, but grow some balls and don't insult my intelligence.
Yeah, that's what I initially said, which I thought was a little bit callous. I was like, your coworker's dead. They're not pulling their salary anymore, but it's true.
I think the company's being a little callous by trying to put his work in front of your plate instead of trying to replace him. Was he so
expendable?
Was he so unimportant to the company that his salary was just wasted money?
Apparently.
Somebody else suggests, say without a raise, then I don't see the benefit and would rather stay in my current role where I know how to excel with the projects I've been managing, but I appreciate the recognition. There's a chance you'll lose your job, but that's a decision for you to make.
Honestly, I don't know if this seems like a company that's worth staying at. They obviously don't value you that much. You're not worth the extra $25,000 a year for all this additional work they want you to take on.
That's not even a lot. In terms of salary, especially because you were paying somebody 100K for this.
And now you can't pay someone 100K to do the same job and their old job. This is ridiculous. They should be getting 175K to do both jobs.
Right? Or if they move up into his position, they need an employee underneath them. Were you managing things so poorly that now you have to correct things because somebody died? It just reflects back on your boss that they're not good at this.
Which is why I said I think the boss is trying to finagle that extra $100,000 in the budget into their own salary, which is why it is no longer available to give to OP.
All right, then there are 2 updates.
Okay.
First update, the company's been declining year over year, and I really don't see them being generous with raises. From my conversation with my manager, it didn't feel like the salary negotiation was an option at all. I've also never been in this situation before, and given the sensitivity around the role, it just felt uncomfortable to push. I know I'm underpaid, and I truly believe the skills and value I bring are worth a pay bump into the 6-figure range. I just don't think that's going to happen here, so I'm going to start applying more and hope I can get out of this place sooner rather than later.
I think that sounds like a really good idea. Try and find a new job ASAP.
I think that's fair. If they're being kind of petty about increasing your pay at this point, even if you do kind of manage to negotiate them into giving you the pay raise, they might hold a grudge. And then you're screwed over a couple months down the line and you get let go and then you don't have a paycheck until you find a new job.
Yeah, it might be better to just go find a new untainted job at the higher salary you're looking for.
Because this is not about loyalty anymore because they don't have any loyalty to you. All right, and then second update. Hi, everyone. I wanted to share an update and say thank you. I was overwhelmed by the support and perspective I received on my last post. It really gave me the push I needed to stop settling. The good news, I officially accepted a new offer. Salary, $125K, a $50K raise from where I am now. Perks, equity, and 100% work from home. The company, it's a Fortune 500 firm. I finished the background check and everything is officially cleared. The resignation. I submitted my 2 weeks notice and told my manager today. She was definitely sad to see me go, and we are currently working on a transition plan for my remaining time here. The irony. I saw that my current role was already posted. I wasn't surprised to see it, but I did have to laugh when I saw the salary range was $90,000 to $100,000.
See, why wouldn't they keep someone who knows the job and is good at it for that pay instead of just going and getting a new person for that pay? I don't understand why they don't just give raises. And how much time and productivity are they losing during this transition? It just seems like such a waste to me.
I think they're wasting so much time, but there's just no budget for raises. But there is budget to hire in new people to fill a gap. The lack of budget for my raise suddenly turned into a $25K increase for my replacement. Honestly, I can't even be bothered by it at this point. I'm just grateful to be moving on to a company that values my work from day one. Thanks again for the reality check.
Well, I'm really glad that OP found a better job at an even higher salary than what they were requesting at their old job. That sounds like a win-win-win-win. It sounds like everything's turning out great for OP now.
Top comment on the update. That's how budget works. The retention budget is always tighter than the new hire budget, and companies rely on workers to be comfortable and too lazy to change jobs. Somebody replied, the trick is to eat the meager increase and shop that shiny new title elsewhere. If they counter when you're leaving, decline it. Budgets aside, they weren't paying what you are worth. If you stay, they will feel like you put the screws to them and hold a grudge in many cases, even though it was them who offered the counter. Worse than this is a promise of a magical matching raise at some undefined time in the future that will never come. Even if they offer to put it in writing, they will set performance metrics and move the goalposts even if you meet them. What are you going to do, leave? That old offer you had has long since gone, along with your leverage. And I think that's a good point. There's very few times when I would be willing to take a counter offer from my current employee.
Not when you know you can go out and get an equal or better offer from a new company.
Just, there was a reason that I was shopping around. And usually that reason is not purely salary. So, good for OP. Sounds like you're going to be much happier at your new job.
Am I the asshole for refusing ranch dressing from a stranger in the store?
I'm sorry. Just a strange person walked up and offered you ranch dressing? No, don't take that ranch dressing. Is it in some sort of container? Did they just offer you a fistful of ranch dressing?
I hope not.
I don't know if there's many worse things you could try to hand me that aren't openly toxic. What temperature is this ranch dressing?
Okay, it's not as bad as you're imagining.
Good, because I'm imagining somebody just walking up with just 2 fistfuls of ranch dressing and trying to drip it at you.
Today, my daughter and... I can't stop stop laughing and I'm almost crying. Today, my daughter and I were doing our weekly shop at the supermarket. She was doing typical kid things like pulling items off the shelves and asking, "Can I have this?" Sometimes I say yes, sometimes I say no. At one point, she picked up a bottle of ranch dressing and asked if she could have it. I told her, "Not today," and she put it back on the shelf. In my head, I knew we already had ranch packets at home, and none of the meals I planned for the week really needed ranch anyway. A man in his mid-30s suddenly walked up to us and asked, "Does your daughter like ranch?" She said yes, and he offered to buy the bottle for her.
He offered to buy her a bottle of ranch?
He is very passionate about ranch, and he wants to make sure other people who are also passionate about ranch never have to go without ranch.
He needs to spread the word of this little-known salad dressing. He's found a fellow ranch lover. They're so rare.
We were nowhere near the checkout, and I didn't know this person, so I said, "I appreciate the offer, but we're all right." He then asked again, and again. I politely declined each time, thinking that would be the end of it. But after about the fourth time he asked if he could buy it, I finally responded more firmly and said, "Thanks, but no thanks."
Guy needs to take a hint.
He must spread the ranch.
The joys of ranch.
Why won't you let me give ranch to your daughter?
Ranch is happiness. Ranch is nirvana.
He walked back over to his wife, who said loudly enough for us to hear, "Why would anyone be so stupid to deny their daughter free ranch?"
My God, he married the right person.
Now I'm wondering if I overreacted, but accepting something from a stranger, especially after I already told my daughter no, just didn't feel right to me. Am I the asshole?
You're not the asshole. For one, it's just ranch, and you don't need the ranch. That's just what kids do in a supermarket. They pick things up, say, "I want this," and they don't actually really want it. They want it in that instant.
How did he imagine this going? They would go, "Yes, thank you so much for buying us ranch." Leave their shopping cart, go with him up to the cash register so he could buy this ranch for them. And then they leave with their ranch and then just abandon their cart? Or were they supposed to bring their whole cart? I don't understand what was going to happen.
Did he think that OP's money problems were so severe that she couldn't afford the ranch? It was some noble gesture?
I don't know, but then it's weird to pay for just the ranch, right?
A little bit, because that's the least nutritious thing you could buy someone.
Because it's not like she's going to let her daughter go off with him to the cash register to get this ranch and stuff, right? No, she's not. Don't let your daughter go with a strange man. So what was she supposed to do? Just go with her shopping cart and stop her shopping in the middle of the trip? She doesn't have everything she needs yet, but we got to go buy this ranch right now while this guy's offering.
It does seem like a big inconvenience for a $3 bottle of ranch.
I was like, I don't do the grocery shopping. I have no idea how much a bottle of ranch costs, but I was like, it can't be that much, right?
It depends on the size. They come in a big range of sizes because everyone loves ranch. I think you could buy a gallon of ranch if you looked in the right store.
Maybe that's what she needed to do. Go, "Oh, thank you." And then pick up the 20-gallon bucket and be like, "We would like this ranch, please." That might be worth cutting your shopping trip short for.
Okay, but this guy is so fucking enthusiastic about ranch, he might buy you that bucket and then you're stuck with that.
Yeah, we don't eat that much ranch. What are we going to do with a giant bucket of ranch?
Also, I could never picture walking up to a parent that just told their kid no and being like, "Actually, how about yes?" Maybe that parent has a reason for telling their kid no. Maybe they're trying to teach their kid a lesson about wants versus needs. It sounds like OP was.
And also, we already have ranch at home.
Yeah, but why is he interfering in her business to this extent over something so
ranch!
little? But ranch. Ranch is everything.
Top comment, what an odd thing for that guy to do. NTA, you said no, and that should have been the end of it.
It's just, maybe OP isn't understanding just how many things can be enhanced with ranch dressing. You can put it on salads, you can put it on chicken, you can put it on fish, you can put it on literally everything. Everything's better with ranch. I said fish. That sounds horrible.
I don't eat fish, so I was not going to say anything. It sounds horrible to me anyways, just fish, blah. But yeah, I don't think ranch would enhance that.
No, it would not.
NTA, that's weird. Why would some random adult offer to override the child's parents' decisions? That dude needs to SDF you.
Yeah, I really don't like the people that walk up to a parent in the store and try to override their decision for whatever reason. Like, let the parent their own child, please.
He wanted to swoop in and do a nice thing for a poverty-stricken single mother, then brag about it. The fact that OP may be neither single nor poverty-stricken doesn't matter to him.
Yeah, it does kind of sound like he wants to be the noble knight that swoops in and buys this poor child in distress a $3 bottle of ranch. Or he just really, really wants to spread the word of ranch.
Someone else commented that she should say, "Dude, we're not too poor to buy ranch. I'm trying to teach my daughter not to be spoiled, to learn the word no, the value of $1, etc. NTA." Someone replied, "Exactly." Or, "A mother who knows we already have X bottles of ranch dressing in the pantry at home and don't need another one."
Yeah, but OP really shouldn't have to tell a stranger this. This is common sense that you don't overrule a parent on how they raise the kids, especially when you don't know this parent or the kid.
He was aggressive and freaky. NTA. The not taking no for an answer would be stressing me out. Like, seriously, I gave an answer. Accept it and move on. Okay, one more comment. Correct response to this man. "No, I'm trying to teach my daughter not to take candy or ranch dressing from strangers. I'm teaching her strangers can be creeps." Let that sink in.
Yeah, we've been having a lot of problems with her accepting ranch from strange men.
We're really trying to drive home the stranger danger thing, but she is especially susceptible to ranch. Please do not encourage her. So yeah, Reddit thinks this guy was super weird and pushy.
So do I. I feel like he should really just mind his own business, and ranch is such a strange topic to decide not to mind your own business over.
Well, that's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.